Celeb Select. Today I have Jose Chameleone. When we talk about Ugandan music, especially music that has crossed borders and has sold Ugandan music everywhere around the world, you definitely talk about Chameleone. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
How are you doing?
Let me first clear my throat. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling very well. And I'm very glad to be seated right in the studio of 88.2 Sanyu.
Yes, Sanyu FM. Yeah. My goodness, your career spans like 20 years going back, right?
Yeah, and we're not stopping, huh?
No. It's just the beginning, I think. Isn't it just the beginning?
It has not begun.
It has not begun.
begun.
I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
I was just saying, you are loving your little baby girl right now, Zara.
Absolutely.
I've been seeing you posting so many pictures, and she's so cute. So congratulations to you both.
She's cute because she looks like me. No, I'm joking about that.
But one of the things I noticed was, most all your kids have names starting with A.
Yes.
And then Zara, was that a break from the norm, or she has?
No, we are concluding now.
You're concluding?
When you go by the alphabet, we start with the A, and then maybe the X is. We're coming to the end of it.
But you said coming to maybe, so I'm guessing that's not yet done.
Let's be very frank. Most of the times, it's not the men that decide. Most of the times, the women.
True.
That decide. We are just influencers, but the woman must. It is up to Madame Daniela. We can go until 20. God blessed us, and we can. We're hardworking. So what about?
Okay. All right. Daniela, have you heard? It's up to you now.
But will she manage? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just go back to where you were born. A lot of people know part of your story, but not exactly in your words. So just tell us about you. Where were you born, and a bit about your parents?
Yeah, I'm born in a family of 8 children, 7 boys, 1 girl. I'm the 4th born. I was born on the 30th of April, 1979. So for you, my friends out there, you should know that I'm a mature man. Next year, I'm making 40.
40?
Yeah,
the big 4-0.
The 4th floor, my dear. But anyhow, I'm proud to be facing that direction, because at least with my hard work and the little success that I've achieved, I look like that age. There are people who are 40 and they look like they're 18, like their life has just begun. Anyhow, I was born on 30th April 1979. I'm a son to Mr. Gerald Mayanja and Mrs. Prosimusoki. Yeah, so.
Okay, and where did you go to school?
Yeah, I went to school. Nakasero Primary School was my primary school.
Okay.
From Nakasero, I went to Mengo Senior Secondary School for my O level. I was very notorious. They had what do they call Bango Babagautia Muzungu. I was expelled.
Which class was this?
I was expelled in Senior 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to Kampe Muslims Secondary School, where I did my O level. From there, I went to Katikamo SDA, where I did my A level, and I was expelled in Senior 5 again. So I left I went to Progressive Secondary School, where I did my Senior 6. A lot of people out there like to talk what they don't know, but I qualified to go to the university.
Okay.
I did my Senior 6. I did a head stroke art.
Okay.
I passed, and I was supposed to go to university. But at that time, I wanted to do industrial art and design. Unfortunately, that was about 1997. No, 98. Industrial art and design wasn't at Makerere University at that time. It used to be in Chambo, which was at that time it was
more like a tertiary.
Yeah. So, and I didn't want to go to Chambo, I wanted to go to the University of Makerere. So that's how I lost my interest and decided to go to art in the music side of it.
Okay.
So for people who are out there and think that we are not educated people, my dear friend, check yourself.
Yeah. But the thing is, I was reading, someone posted a comment just the other day saying that with every new album a musician puts out, it's not just an album, it's a story, because you are all storytellers and you're all writers.
Yeah.
So, it's a gift to be able to share that with the world.
I know, that's why most of the times I tell my friends that I'm thankful. This is talent. Talent is not what God gives to everybody. Although God gives everybody talent. Do you understand what I mean? He doesn't give to everybody, because I say he doesn't give, but I also say he gives because it's up to you to discover what he gave to you. Some people live with what they're given, but never know what they have. So I'm one of those fortunate people that discovered what God gave to me as a gift. That's what I portray. So I'm grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, music seems to have always been a part of your family, considering that all of you are music. I mean, so many of your brothers. I
Yeah.
mean, so what was it like growing up?
Okay, if you want to talk about the music in the family, my grandfather was a guitarist. Although, to be honest with you, I don't usually forefront that, because I don't want people to look at it as I'm trying to portray myself in a way that we are all musical. No. He was a guitarist, a casual guitarist. He used to play his guitar at home.
Oh, just at home, not
Yes.
like performing
No, he
or
didn't perform.
professionally.
My father was in the Zambia boys band where he studied. My father plays the trombone, he plays the clarinet, he plays he plays all those things.
Wow.
But he did that in school. Then my big brother Humphrey, he's the first performer we had in our family. He had a band that was called Super World Band. But Humphrey, he always disagreed with my ambition. He used to tell me, you don't have to sing and blah, blah, blah. I told him, but I want to sing. So we had a big conflict on that.
And
so,
he was in a band.
yeah, he had a band, but he didn't want me to sing because
Why?
I was young. And that time music did have a clean reputation for young people. So what I would say is I am the first professional, professional person out of my family. We are all musical, very musical. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And in school, were you performing?
yeah, in school, in Extra Primary, I was in the drama club. I used to act in the drama club. When I went to Kawempe Muslim Secondary School, I was the entertainment prefect. And I used to perform. That's how I started performing.
Okay.
When I went to Katikama SDA, I was still the entertainment prefect. So I'm not those artists who come and just learn on things and they learn and they think. That's why I tell you that my Chisanja is never over because because my talent will never run out.
Yeah.
So some people learn how to sing, but some of us are born to sing.
So you knew even back then that you wanted to sing.
I wanted to sing. I used to admire those. We used to watch pop stars on TV. I used to admire those people. I used to watch. There used to be African TV programs, music programs. I used to admire those people. I used to admire being in the TV. I used to admire being a personality in the music. And I'm glad I became one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now you talked about being expelled once, and then being
What is that?
being expelled from school
Yeah,
once,
yeah.
and then twice. Were you a handful?
Not really.
So what happened?
Not really. I was just too cheeky. Because I can remember one time when Mengo Senior Secondary School and it was raining out. The teacher, I was whispering and I was talking too much in class, so the teacher told me to walk out of class. And when I walked out of class, you know, Mengo Senior Secondary has a pitch down there. It was raining. I just kept on playing football in the rain. And the kids were, instead of paying attention in class, they were looking at me playing football in the pitch. So that type of character,
Okay.
I've always been like that.
So you've
cheeky,
always
yeah.
been the person who you know what you want to do and you do it.
I love my life. That's just it.
Okay.
When I want something, that's what I want.
That's what you want. So no one can convince you otherwise.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. You can tell me to forego, but not to leave it alone.
Okay. You will still come back to
I
it.
still come back to it.
Okay. So let's just talk about, the music, because you said you used to watch TV and you used to see all these musicians and you knew you wanted to be the one on TV. Who were your influences back then?
My influences. Okay, when I was growing up, my father played a lot of South African music and Congolese music. So I know somehow that must have influenced my musical mindset. But I really, really loved Michael Jackson a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
I loved his show and I used to watch him a lot.
Okay.
I used to love Koffi Olomide a lot. And in my teenage times, I loved a lot of Buju Banton.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. The very first record you did, when was that?
My first record, I did it in 1999.
You know that's almost 20 years, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and I recorded it at a studio that was called Hills Media in Nairobi, South B. It was called Bagaya. That was the first time I went to studio to record something, and fortunately, it hit so much in Kenya. And unlike even without understanding my language, for them they appreciated the sound.
Your very first single hit.
Yes, Bagaya was a big hit in Kenya, and it was Luganda. So after that, I managed to accumulate a little money on me, and then that's when I came with the Mamma Mia hit.
Okay.
And after that, I lived happily forever after.
Wow. Your first album came out in 2000.
Yes,
So you were
2000.
working on that album
Yes, I was.
after that. Did you ever experience the struggle that musicians talk about?
Yes, I did. And let me tell you frankly, Crystal, and all those people listening to 88.2 now, is today it's even much easier. It's much easier. Those days it was worse. I won't call names, but people denied me chances. And the studios were very few. So I remember there used to be a studio called Casiokia Studios down there. You could wait for almost a year and they tell you, Cafero is recording an album. And then after Cafero, Sebata is also recording an album. Those are like, Cafero takes about 3 months. Then Sebata another. So
The entire 3 months is taken up by one person.
Yes. You can go and find out. Yes. So recording a song was very, very, very hard. And that's one of the reasons that I migrated and went to Kenya. And what happens is today things are much easier. There's social media. There's lots of ways to reach other people. But those days it was analog.
Yeah, that was it.
If you can ask the people, the likes of the Chagas, the likes of the Weasels, the likes of Gento P, the likes of Bill the African, we used to hang at DV8, but not hanging there because we are drinking beer there. But that was the music center point where you go and distribute your music. But today, Fefe Busi will record a song and he'll WhatsApp it to you. He'll put it on a broadcast and it reaches exactly where it has to be. And it was not easy. It was not easy at all. You see what I mean? I left my father's home when I was 15. And at 16, I was already hustling, trying to find somewhere my position in the game. It was not easy at all.
15 years old.
Yes.
My goodness. The big bad world.
But
You were ready for it.
If I had failed, I would regret, but I passed, so I don't regret.
It doesn't regret. Okay, let me ask you for your first song now. Destiny, Buju Banton.
Yeah.
This song. Why did you pick this song?
I love Destiny because I listen to Buju Banton a lot, by the way. A lot of people dance to Buju Banton, but for me, I listen to him a lot. The message through it. If you sit down and listen to Destiny, I listened to that song when I was totally nobody, but it gave me hope. I wanted to rule my destiny, you see? And for those who listen to it properly, go back and listen to the lyrics. It is so encouraging. That song, one of the songs I listen to that built the strong person that I am.
So even now you still listen
I still
to
love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is, Destiny, Buju Banton.
There was good and evil. We chose good. Why raise the time of the Most High?
Today's best music.
I am Crystal on 88.2 Sanyu FM, and on Celeb Select today I'm chatting with Jose Chameleone, talking about his journey and his very first single back in 1999. That was with Red Sun, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. Are you still in touch with Red Sun?
Yeah, I'm in touch with him. We actually have a new song that we did together.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
We're soon to release it as Legendaries.
oh, that's
I mean,
nice.
beyond music, Red Sun was also my friend. He's like a brother to me. So
He's like a brother to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you were starting out, I mean, I guess you said that you had to go to Kenya to be able to get a studio where you could record.
Yeah.
And then you came back to Uganda. Was it better when you came back? Was the reception here better for you?
I came back as a star. You know, no, honestly, okay. The brief story about it is there was an event that was in Logogo Cricket Over that was called Benson Hedges Golden Tones. And it featured the Kalamashaka, the group that was from Kenya. So those days I used to be a backup singer for Shanks VVD. So we met at Shanks took me to meet them at the KPC. They were at the KPC Kampala Pentecost Church, just
Okay.
in town. So when I went there, Shanks used to feel so proud of me. He was like, "You see this guy here? This guy's going to be a star." Yeah. So he told me, Jay. He used to call me Jay. He told me, "Give them a freestyle." So I gave them a freestyle. So Kalamashaka was like, "Wow, this guy has a special voice. Why doesn't he come to Kenya and feature to our album?"
Oh.
So that was the transition. That's why I went to Kenya, because they promised me a chance to record with them. It never happened though, because it took too long. We waited, but I was already stuck in Kenya.
Okay.
Those days, the bus used to be about 1,000 Kenya shillings. But that 1,000, my friend, that
Finding
time,
it.
it was so much trouble. So I got caught up in there. So fortunately, my brother, Baby Cool, was also already living in Kenya. So people directed me and told me, there's another Ugandan artist that is living here in Kenya. So find him, maybe you can find a way out.
Okay.
So I looked for Baby Cool, and I still want to be very public about it. I want to thank him because he received me and showed me the Kenyans, the Nairobi city. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't take me there though, as people say, but I met him there, and he was a very good loyal
But he
person.
accommodated you when you
he
were there.
accommodated me until I met Red Sun, and we teamed up and made a group, the first East Africa Bashman crew, me, Baby Cole, and Red Sun. Financial reasons, not in detail, we broke up and everybody went their way. So, and about 2000, early 2000, I went to studio and recorded Mamma Mia,
Okay.
the album. So it first hit in Kenya. So I was wondering, when I came to Uganda, it was not here. So I went to Anjuna with Chaga. We took the CD to those people and gave it there. People loved the song. Then it started taking off.
Okay.
And then after that, hey, Jose, come in, we want you in London. Hey, Jose, come in, we want you in Rwanda. What could I do? I had to go.
Now, before the interview, someone was saying to you that they thought you were Kenyan, and they found out later that you were Ugandan, and you got a lot of that.
Yeah, I faced it a lot. It was actually a very huge challenge. But I think it is because Ugandans don't speak fluent Swahili. And because I spoke fluent Swahili,
How is it you spoke fluent Swahili?
it was not easy. Red Sun actually taught me a lot of Swahili.
So you had to learn it there.
Yeah, I didn't know Swahili. I was not born Swahili. But every time I used to hang with Red Sun, I learned Swahili starting in 1999 when I went to Kenya. So I'm a curious person. Everything that I used to hear, I used to ask him, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does... So I piled my vocabulary. Then eventually I started speaking my broken Swahili. But today, amuulize Bila atakujulisha vile ninavyoongea Kiswahili.
Okay, I don't know what you just said.
No, I said you better ask Bill African. He'll tell you how good we speak Swahili these days. Yeah.
All right. So it's your language too. So
Yeah.
coming back to Uganda, you're a star. I mean, what was that like? I mean, you mentioned that the fallout was over financial reasons. And it's funny, I've talked to so many musicians and that issue kept coming up.
Yeah, because in a team, when you're more than two people, one must be greedy. The third one must be greedy. Every time you're three people, one gets greedy. Either me or Red Sun or Baby Cool, whosoever it was, one of us was greedy. Anyhow, so when I came back to Kampala, my friend Chaga, he's my best friend actually. We lived together, so he used to help me a lot, financially, emotionally. So when I came back, I looked for him. I was like, yeah, how do you get this music across? So we started trying to promote the music, and then one day we had a show in Lira. They had hired me in Lira for about 600,000 shillings at that time. So we went with Chaga. Chaga, we're on the bus. We went by bus. So Chaga, we're in the bus. He's telling me, but Chameleone, do you know you've become a star? I'm like, but you, man. I felt like, no.
But you're still in the bus.
I'm in the bus, and you tell him I'm a star. So we went to Lira. Next morning, before I woke up, Chaga was on my door knocking. He told me, come and see why I told you you've become a big star. He brought Monitor. And Monitor had a double split page about Chameleone. Uganda's Chameleone, very popular in Kenya, blah, blah, blah. So I was like,
Really?
I didn't.
They hadn't
really.
interviewed you for that?
No. It was an article copied from I think Kenyan Daily Nation. Daily Nation wrote it, and then some friend, he became my friend later. Emma Serugo. No, Serugo who? From Monitor. Moses Serugo. So he refollowed it.
Okay.
So I was so shocked. From nowhere, I was the double split of a newspaper, and then Sunday, New Vision was doing the same thing. Then next week, Mami is on Kampala Top 20. Then next week, it's on African Express. It took over me, and I didn't know. So I was very excited. Of course, when you've been trying to chase those beautiful girls, and this time they're the ones screaming for you, Chameleone. You start feeling the cowboy. You see what I mean? So, but
did you have some moments where it went to your head?
yes, I did. When I bought my first convertible car, I felt like the world was mine. Because that time I didn't even have a bank account. I had my account was in my trunk. I used to walk with my money in the boot. So
you went with your money, I want that one.
Yeah, but I bought a convertible, and I didn't have a savings account at that time. I used to have it was that Mazda. My bank was in my boot. I moved with my money in my boot. So when I move
Did you have any security at least? Man,
I was a little boy. I was 20.
Yeah.
20.
Well, actually, back in those days, a lot of people had money in the boot.
Yeah. Today you put it there, my friend, you don't know what you're doing. So what happens is, it got to my head a little bit, but as you grow, challenges soften you down.
Did anything like bring you back on track?
Yeah. A lot of things. When you start to have children, things start to look different.
Yeah.
Responsibility starts to take over you. So I think that's why we start to slow down in a way. You start to be responsible. You start to have people you live for. You start to understand things that you're not meant to understand. Yeah, so that's what it was.
Okay. Well, the next song I'll be playing will be coming in from Radio and Weasel. And you
Yes.
talked about them. I mean, you guys.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
relationship went all the way back in time.
Yeah. I mean, radio rest in peace, absolutely. But what I want to say is I am glad that I saw them coming. And I'm glad that I gave them an opportunity that I wasn't given. You see what I mean? And I'm glad. A lot of people say, oh, radio should have lived, but I'll be honest with you, radio lived his life. He enjoyed it.
He did.
He enjoyed it. He was successful. He started from nothing to something. And inevitably, God does what he wants. And I would say beyond this is Radio and Weasel is one of my best groups. Not because I know them, but their music speaks.
Yes.
So that's why I requested Owude. Yeah, because people here forget that time is money.
Yeah.
By the time you remember to start working on yourself, somebody else is behind you already working on what you should have done. So, Osumagiro Owude. People here don't know how to evaluate success. Scotty, for example, if somebody will wake up and say, Chameleone is not successful, you're joking, my dear. The measurement of success is how deep you come from. One day I learned it from a friend who challenged me and told me which animal in life jumps highest. I went all over the kangaroos, the cheetahs, and he was like, no, none of them. None of them. Then he surprised me when he told me that a flea, nkukunyi, those ones that live on dogs, that is the highest jumping animal on universe. I asked him how. He told me because it jumps 2,500 times its size. It will jump from your shoe and dive into your hair. You see what I mean? So people must also understand that success is not measured by how much money you have, but how far you come from. I give an example. I can give you an example. Now I'll give it to another one. It's like, for example, it's like waking up and you're, let's say a minister's child.
Yeah.
Your father has already jumped halfway, so all you left with is jump a quarter and you're there. But people like us who have been from civil servants, my father is a civil servant, self-employed, is an artist.
Yeah.
You come all the way from Kawempe and you're living on the hill in Seguku. Then I'm successful. I'm not going to wait to become a president to be called successful. Yeah. So success is measured on how far you come from and how deep you jump from to the top. Yeah.
To the top. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give an example. I'll take another example. Radio himself.
Yeah.
When I met Radio was in a barber shop in Deva. You see what I mean? He's looking very miserable, but eventually, people always tell you, Radio should have Radio Barambi. Of course, we all feel bad that he left, but the reason I say that he lived his life, when I compare the journey from where I met him to the time he left us, he lived a successful life.
Yeah.
By the time he died, he had his white girlfriends, he had his property, he's worked a lot, he's built his mother a house, and that is what they call success. Success is measured on how deep you come from.
And also what you leave behind.
Yes.
What
but,
you leave behind.
Me, I'll say, salute Radio. I'm so proud of him. He lived a good life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were talking about, you come back to Uganda, your album blows up, you're in the papers when you finally realize, hey, I'm a celeb now. I'm a celeb. But then, one of the things, I guess one of the challenges is the staying good at what you do for as long as you've been able to do it. Because other artists come up and then people always say, now this one has come up and that one has come up. And
they want to bypass. They take Entebbe Express and they go to... No, but truthfully, what I'll say is I attribute that to my originality. I've never wanted to sound like anybody. And I'm always feeling hungry. If you ask my closest friends, ask my wife, ask my children, I have a lot of time in studio. For me, I live music. Basically, without music, I'm nothing. Not because I make money out of it, but because that is my life. I'm designed for that. So people here die out because they lose originality. They lose relevance because some of them just learned what they did. You see what I mean? But
they're just trying to copy someone else.
Yeah, they're trying to copy somebody. And others are very talented, but when they make it up, they start being challenged by trying to be somebody else. Chameleone has been a chameleon all my life. I've been the same person. So why do I maintain chameleon? Because I am only one. You can never find another chameleon. I'll take you back to radio again as an example. Radio didn't sing anything new. Neither have I sung anything new. We have a different way of expressing a story. Okay, another cool example. It's like you, Crystal, and Bill watching the same movie.
Yes.
When you narrate for me that movie, you might make it you might make me want to watch it more than Bill. Yet you watch the same movie, you're telling me about the same story,
Yes.
but the way you deliver it. So that is the difference that God has given every artist. As long as you keep your way of, as long as you keep the way you sing, the way you understand, the way you narrate, that is the originality. People lose that along the way. Olina kera natukamba kati atinayagala sounding nga yanga mulo atinayagala imemunga chameleone nayagala sounding munga waiki benda, then you're losing your originality. You're trying to sound like somebody already in existence.
Yes. Now, you talked about Danielle at the beginning of the show. How did you actually meet her?
When we broke up with Grit Onser, my ex, I thought I had to change my environment. Just in need of change. So I changed my attitude, changed where I used to go out to. So I found myself in that place.
Did you feel at that time that you had contributed to your breakup?
It was just time. That's how God brought it. Certain things are inevitable. Yeah. So what happens is, I went to Alligators and saw this beautiful lady. And fortunately, one of her friends came to me and asked me for a lighter because he saw me smoking a cigarette.
Oh,
So
okay.
So when his friend asked me for a lighter, I told him, "Are you with that chick?" "Yeah, she's my friend," and blah blah blah. So I asked for the number. So Daniela gave me her number. I gave her my number too. And unfortunately, she never called me.
Okay.
And every time I tried to call, her phone was off. So I gave
Were you
her.
used to that kind of behavior? You were expecting her to call?
No, if she had she called, I would feel much better though. And I was just trying. I was just trying.
Because
my
I'm
luck.
sure a lot of girls were chasing after you.
Yeah, but that time it was not like it is now. Today they're even worse. I think I grew more handsome. As we age, we are like wine. As we age, the sweeter it becomes. Anyway, no, I'm just joking about that, Crystal.
Yes, I
so
know.
what happens is, I expected her to call because we talked gently. We didn't talk like by eye. So I gave her number. She never called. I tried to call her and she didn't go through. So I met her again in Club Silk. Now she was with her friends. So when I saw her, I ignored her because I was feeling bad. I was like, why? But Danielle was so crazy. She came and told me, "Yeah, how, do you remember me?" I said, "Yes, I do." I told her, why didn't you? I tried to call you, I couldn't reach you. "Yeah, first leave that alone. What time are you leaving this place?" I said, "I'll leave at about 5. "Okay, before you leave, can you let me know if you can drop me and my friends back to campus?" I was like, "Okay, I will." Of course, when you love somebody, you will do anything.
Yes.
So that lady, I thought they were talking about one campus. Kumbe, she had friends going to Chambogo, others going to Nakawa, others going to Makerere, and yeah, I did Uber basically that time. Yeah, I dropped them.
You dropped all of them?
Yeah, I dropped. I was with Red Band and I dropped. I was so annoyed when I was dropping the last one. And then I tried to call again the next day. She didn't pick again. Then I met her again at Sabrina's. There was a pub called Sabrina's. This time I was also very arrogant. I was like, if you want one, if you don't want,
You
you
used
go.
me.
Then she told me, "Yeah, what's the program for the weekend?" I told her I have a show in Luero. She was like, "Okay, if you don't mind, I'll come with you." And that's how we started building up story by story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I should say I'm blessed to be having a woman in that magnitude. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's everything I would ever ask for.
She's
in
your
a woman.
supporter. She's by your side.
She's an angel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Now, I mean, one of the things about being, in the media and being a celebrity is all the stories, the tabloids, all of that, And one of the things that has been covered over time is also your temper. Your temper.
Yeah, but let me ask you, Crystal. Do people think, do they think we are living in a monastery? We are not in church. I'm not a priest. You know what I mean? People act. People do things that are even worse than what I do. Why do they put the word temper? Because it describes not only me, but a lot of other people. And for me, what brings all that, honestly, for everybody listening to us, is for me, I'm not a hypocrite. I don't know how to pretend. If I'm angry with you, I can't put my teeth on top. I don't applaud you for making me annoyed. Yeah, that's the truth.
So if you're upset, you will show you're upset. You're angry.
But people will only front that. They won't front the good side of me. I've done good things as well for people. I was walking into this building. I found a little boy there. I saw the little boy sitting. I gave him 5,000, but what has he done for me? There, people should learn that people with very good hearts have also another bad extreme. And I don't disrespect people. So why do you come and want to bounce on me because of my size? I am not God. No, honestly. And I want to tell you that, plus the listeners, because people frown and people hide. No, I'm not. Me, I have a bad temper. That's the truth. I have a bad temper, but I also have a very good heart. Simple like that. So what are you looking for? You don't go when you go to buy a cake, you don't buy bread. They are two different things. So make me happy, I make you happy. Make me sad, I make you sad. Simple like that.
True. I mean, I had a bad temper, and I've tried to learn how to also calm down a bit.
But you have a bad temper, and you try to squeeze it inside. You feel
Yes,
like
you
you're
try
dying
to
inside.
push it down.
You feel a mango. So,
Lesu playing right here on 88.2 Sanyu FM, one of Jose Chameleone's requests on Celeb Select today. Now, you've dropped so many gems. You've talked about the fact that, people forget that artists are just people, are just normal people. You live your lives. And I think when you talk about that, I think one of the hardest things, especially being in the limelight, is when marital issues, actually come out there. Because every relationship has problems.
I know.
And drama.
But people stalk us too much.
They stalk you. Yeah, they want to know what's going on with you.
But why don't we? We're also going to start a revenge and start looking at what they are also doing. No, I'm joking about that. But you know what happens is that's the price you pay.
That's the price
That's
you
the
pay.
price you pay.
You've accepted
Inevitably.
it.
No, you have to accept it. It's just like a man in Kikuyu who carries a sack. That is the luggage you also carry. Fame comes with all those things, all those prices. Although in our society, people also need to learn how to find ways to appreciate their art. There's appreciation that develops an artist, but there's appreciation. So there's an energy that can also kill an artist. So when we are assets of this country, because when we go out there, the last where is he from? He's from Uganda. The pride still comes back, no matter how small the percentage is. So society also should find fairness in how they judge and how they receive their celebrities. Not only musicians, but everybody that is celebrated. Yeah.
Well, recently, as you very well know, there was a case that came up where domestic violence was cited. And you clearly seem to have sorted things out and moved on.
Yeah.
But how are you doing? Because when these stories come up, of course, people automatically always, of course, think about the woman and then have opinions.
I know.
But what about you?
I know, but
What about you?
it is heartbreaking. Because to be frank with you, they like you say, they claimed I hit my wife with an iron bar, but as beautiful as Daniela looks, she doesn't have a scar. People just have stories just made to the destructive kind of attitude. And people in Uganda should learn how to absorb your jealousy and your hatred and those kind of things. We also work so hard. People look at you and think you're living free. We are not living free. I'm turning 40 next year, but I'm still on stage jumping wally wally. You know what I mean? I'm jumping wally wally whilst you're there hugging your girlfriend. So that is, I'm working, and you also know that. People are just judgmental and jealousy, and they came, for me, it was heartbreaking.
Yes, because I'm asking because you rarely ever get to hear from the man.
No, I was so heartbroken. Truthfully, we had issues as family. We must disagree to agree. So, but there was no violence at all. And Daniela, being of her type of nature, she was so annoyed. She's not used to that type. Daniela, you can shout at Daniela and she'll cry. She's brought up softly. So she cited certain misbehavior. In me, I was wrong. For example, I was drinking a lot at that time because I was stressed. I was coming back home late and those type of things. I was not being polite, even when she was blaming me. Those things happen in other families too. And when she talked to me, I told her, that is not my responsibility. It is your responsibility to lift me up. So the argument broke up, and she told me, I've tried to lift you up, and you're notorious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my father's house. If you don't change some of your manners, we might have to divorce. She said that, I won't deny that. So, and people started bringing up their own stories, Sijui, Chameleone, blah, blah, blah. I am not an animal. You love somebody, then why do you beat them? You see what I mean? And we are not living in those rural areas where such things happen. We are educated people. We are first class citizens. Should I say so? Anyway, for me, I was very heartbroken. One, that they're tarnishing my personality in public. Two, I was living alone. My wife was not there. You see, and I was heartbroken. So I had to change a few of my ways, apologize like anybody, and sorted out my family issues. And we live happily forever
Okay.
after.
Okay, okay. Now you've talked a lot about, becoming a father and how life changes you. What is your attitude towards your kids? Because you said, yes, our parents told us we used to walk barefoot, we used to walk for 7 miles to get to school every day and
I
7
know.
miles to get back home again. But you said times are different.
No, times are different. For me, what I've tried to do, honestly, for everybody listening to us, right on 8.2, I am trying to create a new generation of my angels. God blessed me, gave me very much opportunity, and beyond opportunity, God has given me a lot of time to do a lot of errors and a lot of corrections. So what I've tried to do is I'm opening up every opportunity that I can for my children. As much as people claim that I have a temper, for me, I don't beat children. I've never ever beaten my children.
Okay.
And at home, I'm the softest one. Can you imagine?
Really?
I swear to God, you'll find Daniela. Have you flashed a toilet? For her, she's like that. She's that tough mother, which I really appreciate about her. But ask my friends around me.
That's the balance then.
Yeah, that's the balance. And for me, I'm so weak. I'm so weak when it comes to my children. My child can get sick and I cry. So I'm trying to open up every opportunity. When Abba tells me I want to swim, I'll pick my money and tell him go and swim. When he tells me I want to try this, I want to open up another generation. For me, my past generation of my family are poor peasants. My grandfather was a smith. My other very one too. I am the first breakout who broke out. So things must start to change from here. That is why you see I take them to international schools. I give them international exposure. I want things to change from now on. So my kids are my friends, should I say. Yeah.
Okay.
They actually wanted to come with me.
Oh.
And if Abba Marcus, you're listening, Alpha, Amma, all of you, I send you my regards. I love you all. Yeah.
So you said, you're hungry. The one thing that has kept you going this whole time is you're
I'm
hungry.
never satisfied.
You're hungry. What is the one thing you feel like you haven't yet done? Had the chance to do that you really are dying to do?
The things I've not done, honestly, are not the music side. The one thing that keeps me even more hungry than before is I want to plug my children somewhere. I want to see my children somewhere.
And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much,
And
Crystal.
for sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Like you said, it is just a way of life that when music plays, there's a feeling that people get. So that was the inspiration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here it is. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Blessings, my dear.
Have a great evening.